Done, 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 done.
I want to know everything.
Everything? Well, young lady, let me show you the MyMTE app. Energy Service Life. That's Middle Tennessee Electric. We're here to get done what matters most to you. Learn more at mte.com.
Rutherford Issues with Brian Barrett on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSradio.com.
Rutherford Issues is powered by Middle Tennessee Electric. MTE and their Sharing Change has now donated more than $11 million to local nonprofits and growing. You know, this community outreach of Middle Tennessee Electric helps worthy causes right here in our community, supporting local nonprofits. Find out more at sharingchange.org. We are talking about the Better Business Bureau today. Lots to go over as James Price comes in every couple of weeks to keep us updated on things. And there's some events coming up that the BBB Foundation is working together. So, James, first of all, good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing today?
All right. Surviving the heat, I hope.
Yeah. I mean, at least it's not as brutal as it has been like in some of these other states, but it's starting to catch us, isn't it?
Yeah. Anything over 100, you can keep it. I don't want it.
Yeah.
So, but you've got some things for us to talk about. Where are we going to start off first here this morning?
So, last time we were on here, we were talking about 6 scams for college students to avoid. Mm-hmm. And so we're still like here at the start of school. So today I'm bringing in these back-to-school internet safety tips. And this is really important. Back to school, you're gonna get new supplies and clothes. That's not enough. As your children, go back to school, you also need to be thinking about how to them stay safe online and avoid being easy targets to online scammers. And this just doesn't go for younger kids; it goes for adults, because actually some adults don't realize how they're getting scammed. So don't turn your radio off just because I said kids going back to school. This applies to everyone.
Yeah, these will be some very interesting tips. So I guess we're going to start off with parents here, right?
Yeah, so be careful creating accounts on websites without permission. Social media sites are ripe with strangers and intentions that may be quite different than yours. Many sites are designed to collect and sell unauthorized user details and behaviors to advertisers seeking targeting marketing. So when creating an account, some kids may falsely create a birth date to meet like the minimum age requirements. Know what your child is doing online. Keep track of social media sites and accounts to which they have access to. Contests and giveaways. Contests and giveaways are not just for the good of the company or the person giving it away. There's an ulterior motive there somewhere for a contest or a giveaway. Now, sometimes they're good. Sometimes they're raising money for charity and that kind of stuff. But other times, not so much. They're often collecting a whole bunch of personal information on their entry forms. Many are thinly disguised ways of collecting personal or financial information that could lead to identity theft. Ensure that your child doesn't have any access to online banking or credit card information, and supervise them filling out the forms. And this kind of just is a little bit off track from the internet here, but I got a card in the mail this week that said, hey, we have a package to deliver to you. Please call this number with this code.
I got one of those too. It was FedEx or UPS or something like that, or disguised as that.
Yeah, so being the BBB guy I am, I called the number. And I didn't give him any real personal information. But come to find out, there's a series of questions. Oh, you want two bottles of laundry detergent, and we just need your address to send it to you.
That's key information.
Yes. And so then they started asking questions about, do I have a whole house water filter system? And how clean is your water? So obviously, this is a company who's trying to sell whole house water systems, and they're trying to get your address and information. How long you owned your house. That was some of the other questions they asked. So if they're out there listening to this, the information I gave you was totally bogus. It was not any of mine. So But I was able to go down that road.
Poor Joe down the street. You gave him his address and stuff.
Right. Actually, I used some kind of street and address. I'm not even sure if it was a real address. So anyway, back on this phishing, adults are not the only ones who receive spam and junk mail. Kids often get junk mail, and since they don't have much online experience, and neither do adults in some cases, they're more susceptible to clicking links and answering questions they probably shouldn't. While some emails may be legitimate, the last thing parents want or need is a $500 bill from a fraudulent website where a purchase may have been made, or worse, giving up personal information that can be tracked back to your home. So they're phishing this information, this contest, this giveaway, kind of like that card we just talked about. They want to know where I live. Well, once they know where you live, well, now they can track you even more. So don't ever give your home address unless you know who you're giving it to.
Sure.
So understanding apps they're downloaded software that operates on various devices. Everybody should know what an app is by now. But however, certain apps might collect and share personal information about your child or target your child with ads. Even free apps include features and children may not understand that some of those apps or game features cost money, and they're going to be labeled free to download. Then they may click on these so-called free games and cost parents and guardians a hefty bill at the end of the month. So the other thing too is, I would not let a child have a credit card or a prepaid card to put onto an app to make purchases.
Right. Yeah.
If you want to buy something on there, you need to bring it to me, and you need to let me know what it is that you want to buy, and I will look at it before I approve it. 90% of the time, the answer is going to be no.
Yeah, it was 98% in my house, but the whole what you're kind of talking about are apps that say free, but a lot of times, like on the iPhone, it says in-app purchases may be required or something like that, and so that's on just about every app, even though it's a free app. So if your kid's credit card information, or you have your credit card information in on their phone and they click through, well, then they're buying all these extra purchases that you may not know about, is kind of what you're getting at there.
Right. Yeah. And, it's apps, it's games. I know people who spend over $1,000 a month on games on internet.
Wow.
And I'm just going, what?
Yeah, what? I don't like my Super Mario Kart that much, but James Price of the BBB here with us, Better Business Bureau, looking at some internet safety tips back to school time. Anything other than apps here?
So file sharing sites, many websites allow children to download free media. A child may not realize that these sites come with the risk of downloading a virus, allowing the identity of thieves to access the gaming device, personal computer, cell phone that's being used. From there, a cyber thief can track financial transactions, physical locations, and even tap into the household Wi-Fi without anybody knowing it. And so if you have a device in your house that is on Wi-Fi and it has a camera, well, now you've just given them access to everything in your home. And, there's rumor out there that some of these Roomba or, I don't know if it's that brand, but these automatic vacuum cleaners, they have GPS in them. So basically what you're doing is you're showing the company the entire layout of your home with this vacuum cleaner.
My Roomba's not smart enough to do that, I don't think. Maybe.
Be surprised. You never can tell.
Well, it always gets stuck in the same place. I know that. So.
Yeah. It's not connected to your Wi-Fi yet, though, as far as you know.
No.
So some quick tips on managing online privacy with the family. Know about the Children's Advertising Review Unit. It's a self-regulatory program that provides detailed guidance to children's advertisers how to deal with sensitively and honestly with children's issues. They go beyond issues of truthfulness and accuracy to consider unique impressions and vulnerable child audience. So that's the CARU self-regulated program. There's a program called COPA, Children's Online Protection Act, which basically says that children under 13 has to be protected, but if your kid puts in the information that they're over 13, you're not protected anymore. The Family Online Safety Institute brings international perspective to online lives, potential risk and rewards. read privacy policies together and understand privacy settings. Those are really long sometimes, and people skip over them. But I mean, if your child is into one of those, you really want to make sure that you're looking at those. Don't share your location. I have my location services turned off on my phone. Nearly every app automatically tracks where the user is. Don't use those. Use parental controls if necessary. If you have a child who has their own phone, you can set the parental controls and you can lock it with a password so they can't just change them. Share with care, and remember, personal information is like money. If you give somebody personal information, they can find a way somehow to monopolize on that. And then on the other thing we have on here is teachers and administrators who have tips for students. Video conferencing tools. There's a thing on here about Zoom bombing and phishing. These things are not over. People, scammers can still get in there and tag into a video conference. Evaluate and update cybersecurity plans. The sudden shutdown of in-person activities left many scrambling to change course and creating and delivering curriculums. So you got to kind of watch out for those. And then keep a clean machine and updated device connected to the internet. Backing it up. Make sure that you have firewalls and things to protect you about viruses and malware and that kind of thing. And then, of course, for more information, you can go to bbb.org and you can read more about some of these programs that we have on here. A lot of tips for back to school. Yep. Everybody just needs to kind of be forewarned,
Well, James, looks like we've got about 3 minutes or so here to jump in and talk about the BBB's 5th annual Songwriters Night. That is coming up, and I'm sure tickets are going pretty fast for that.
Yeah. I mean, this is a really cool event. So it's the 5th annual, as you were saying, and to date, BBB has raised over 6 figures in money to support community programs and funding small business grants in the 45 counties BBB serves. So that's the main goal of our Songwriters Night, is to to support small business. BBB is a nonprofit. What do you want to do? You want to showcase your company, your commitment to trust, provide grant funding for local businesses, network and connect with like-minded people, and enjoy an unforgettable night of fun. Our mistress of ceremonies will be the one, Danielle Breezy. She's back here for her second year, at least her second year, could be her third. And so I'm sure everybody out there knows who Danielle is. If not, you just need to go to News 2 and watch the weather report. But some of the songwriters, these are really interesting. Wyatt McCubbin's going to be there, a singer-songwriter from Ohio, and he's been writing songs and playing shows for a long time. He's written songs for Merle Haggard, George Jones, Charlie Daniels, Dwight Yoakam, the Kentucky Headhunters, and more. So he's one of the songwriters that will be there. Eric Dillon, another songwriter. So we're going to have 3. He'll be there. He co-wrote the #1 hit, There Was a Girl. If it wasn't for trucks and Dylan Carmichael's radio signal drinking problems. He's from Kansas, and he's written songs for Brantley Gilbert, Trish Yearwood, Kip Moore, and more. And then our third songwriter is Bryce Long, and he has 25 more years in songwriting, has over 100 songs cut with artists like Garth Brooks, George Strait, Hank Williams Jr., Randy Travis, Trace Adkins. I mean, there's a whole list of peoples in here. One of his songs was the #1 single, Heartache on the Dance Floor. And then another one, Nothing But the Radio. A lot of good stuff out there. Go to bbb.org. I think we're going to have the QR code on WGNS website.
Sure. We'll put a link there for sure.
Sign up. Businesses can actually donate stuff for our silent auction. You can get in touch with me or through the link. And we'll highlight your company on the silent auction you're given to promote small businesses in Middle Tennessee.
Sounds good. James Price with the Better Business Bureau joining us today on Rutherford Issues.
Hello, friends. Lenny Farmer with Jennings & Ayers Funeral Home. More than I can count, we have taken care